Welcome back to this course, Intro to Cloud. This course is a presentation of coding boot camps. This is session 3, Intro to DevOps. Just to recap what we have learned so far, we had our overview of cloud computing. We explored the varieties of cloud computing, including public, private, and/or hybrid. And we explored the types of cloud computing services, such as software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service. The agenda for this session, we're going to look at what is DevOps, DevOps adoption, DevOps tools, and what is CI/CD, or continuous integration and continuous deployment. So our introduction. So the term DevOps is actually a combination of development and operations. So sometimes these groups have conflicting goals. So development teams like to continuously improve, add more features, fix defects. Product managers, the same thing, want to continuously improve, add more features. Operations teams prefer to stabilize, to keep the product running once it's stable, keep it available, and deployments, changes, updates tend to cause issues with that stability. So the idea here is to make that bridge between development and operations. So DevOps is a set of practices that includes automation of processes between the development and the IT teams. So IT teams can automate their build, test, and release processes faster and more reliably, and also with fewer errors, and also to ensure that builds run successfully and often, and tests run often, and all products are tested, and there are ways to automate testing using testing scripts. So DevOps looks again to create that unity between development teams and operations teams. It is an agile methodology that involves continuous delivery for continuous feedback from customer representatives of the customer to do testing. It also involves automation, and is there to help development and operations teams be more efficient, innovate faster, and deliver higher value to the business and the customers. So the promised benefits include an increased trust, faster or sooner delivery of software releases to solve critical issues quickly. So there could be problems, defects, or there could be features that absolutely have to get released, or there could be things like security type of fixes that need to get released, and also better managed unplanned work. So the software development process can't work efficiently without the right tools. And software development is still, even today with the right tools, is still a very complex activity. So in the case of DevOps, teams can benefit with the right set of tools and the right process. It's always the right process that's important. The tools can be configured to support the right process, but the tools do help in sharing information, progress, process automation, reduction of deployment time, and reduction of human error, and in continuous deployment in order to get continuous feedback on whatever updates were made to the software products or the software devices. So we can see here again, development teams like to plan, like to create, package, verify, while as operation teams, they like to monitor, they like to stabilize. Both teams share in releases. However, anything new to the operations environment can be a risk to stability. So teams need to work together to continuously improve, to continuously create, and continuously release, while still continuously monitoring and continuously stabilizing. So some tools used in DevOps: Ansible, which is an automation framework; Docker, which gives a virtual runtime environment that is quick and easy to deploy to. Kubernetes is also a runtime environment that is quick and easy to deploy to And also it has certain features which allow for several different clusters of the application to run to handle loads and also for backup situations. Chef and Puppet are automation frameworks for automating release. We have a set of tools here, a set of tools for process. So we have EC2, Docker, all runtime type of environments. Git is a repository that allows for teams to actually check in their files, their code files, whether it's for a software product or for a device that's running software. Jenkins is another automation framework that allows for commits to be automated, builds to be automated, and deployments to be automated. And AWS also has a suite of tools, including code commit, code build, code deploy, and code pipeline. Again, just like these tools sound, they automate and they help teams with automation of committing, building, deploying to a runtime environment like EC2, and a code pipeline for continuous, that continuous delivery pipeline. So again, we can see here on our development side, we plan, we code, we build, we test, and this is what development teams do: continuously improve and continuously fix any types of software products, software that runs on devices. We can see here Git is a tool, Maven is a tool, Gradle, JUnit. JUnit is an automated scripted testing framework. For integration, there's Jenkins and Bamboo to help get this code from the development environment over to some kind of staging environment, and then from that staging environment integrate with deployment to some kind of an environment that is very, very similar to production. And the tools that can help us with deployment are Puppet, Docker, and Chef. And once deployed, tools to help us with operating and monitoring are tools like Splunk. This is just some of the organizations using DevOps. DevOps is really a suite of best practices. We can see these firms, but many, many, many more are using DevOps. It's a very successful methodology. And we can see here the DevOps market size by application is growing, and it's looking to grow out into the mid-2020s here. It's looking to grow substantially by the mid-2020s. CI/CD, again, stands for continuous integration and continuous delivery or continuous deployment. And you can think of this process as similar to the software development lifecycle. This is a methodology where applications or devices and applications are delivered to customers by using automation and steps in automation, or these could be representatives of the customer. And the main concepts attributed to continuous integration and continuous deployment are automation of that continuous delivery pipeline. So if we integrate continuously, that process is going to become less difficult. We'll be able to actually smoke test integration and smoke out problems sooner. Continuous delivery will allow us to validate that the product we built is running correctly in the runtime environment, and then continuous deployment allows us to deploy to staging environments, pre-production environments, and also the production environments. CI/CD is a solution to many problems, and it's a way of integrating new features and new code, and that can allow development teams and operations teams to operate in an environment where there is actually less friction and more satisfaction between the teams and the customers. So we can see here the flow. There is a lot of times the products begin as source code, and there is a commit. This process can certainly be automated, and it often is. We already talked about Jenkins as one of these tools. And then within the continuous integration pipeline, builds can be run, which take it from source code to actually machine code. JUnit helps us run automated tests, and this is good just in and of itself because this is showing that when code is checked in, it is tested, and that's always important. Also integration tests. Again, this is all looked to be automated as much as possible. However, there can be times when manual testing is also run. And then to get to the continuously delivery pipeline, we take the product that's running now, that has been tested automatically, and it can get reviewed in some kind of a staging environment. And if everything is running in a satisfactory way, if the customer or representative of the customer is happy with it, then deployment to production can happen and release announcements can be made. And again, all of this can be automated and should be automated. Great practitioners of DevOps automate all of these steps and more in many different ways. So again, Jenkins is a great automation framework. It can be the ultimate continuous integration tool, and it does have a lot of importance when it comes to the CI/CD pipeline. So our task is to automate the entire process from the time the development team gives us the code and commits it to the repository. And it's from the time that we eventually deploy to production. So our task is to automate the pipeline as much as possible in order to make the entire software development lifecycle on DevOps more automated. More automated is better. It reduces error, it increases reliability, increases the time to market, and increases quality. So for this, we need automation tools. And again, we can see here Jenkins and Git together. So Git is a repository, and Jenkins again is that automation framework. So we could see developers are working, committing their code to the repository, and then from the repository out to Jenkins. And then Jenkins looks to automatically commit and then run that build where it goes from source code to an executable file for that operating system. Automating testing, so calling those scripted tests and looking for the correct results. Staging to an environment where the product can be viewed by representatives of the customers or customers themselves. And then deployment to either some kind of pre-production environment, QA environment, where again, more evaluation can take place, and then ultimately to our production environment. So other DevOps tools, we cover tools like these, like Docker and Kubernetes in our next sessions, but these are fantastic DevOps tools, very popular, and they are incredible products that add a lot of value. Just to recap what we covered, so what is DevOps, DevOps adoption, DevOps tools, and what is continuous integration and continuous deployment. So for more on DevOps, please consult your learning materials. And our next section is Introduction to Docker. Some live DevOps classes. There are live training classes available for mastering Docker and containers in cloud environments, training classes on mastering Kubernetes in a cloud environment, and complete training on mastering DevOps and all of its tools. Thank you for watching this video on DevOps, and this has been a presentation of Coding Bootcamps.